All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I want to actually speak to you this morning about the ultimate sacrifice. And I hope that some way, somehow, this is really, truly thought provoking because this is a good way, a really, truly an acid test to see if you really, truly have what it takes within your own heart. And you can only be fair to your own self. Now, of course, you could be biased and give yourself passes and everything else, but let's really truly look at this thing. You know, yesterday when we was up at the building pad, myself and the brother, and I brought up a question. I said, which is greater? All right, think about this for a second. Which is greater? Which is greater, to die for others or to live for them? Which one is the greatest sacrifice? And then I drew a few narratives. And of course, the first narrative was, you think about a soldier, all right? He's in a hot LZ or in a firefight, and they're pinned down, and the enemy throws a grenade, okay? The first thing, impulse, the action of an impulse of one soldier is, especially if the grenade landed close to them, is the first thing he does is he acts on impulse. And he throws himself on that grenade in order to save the lives of his buddy. And of course, in this world, we equate that to being heroic and being a hero. And of course, it is. It's what this world deems as the ultimate sacrifice. All right. Now let's think about this for a second. When you look at an action like this man had no time to weigh, questions in his mind. Should he or should he not? He did it based upon impulse. All right. There was something inside of his heart that caused him to do that. All right. Now watch this. What about living your life in service to others? Now this one is not so simple because this is not instantaneously. This is not something that is based upon impulse. This is something that is within the depths of your heart. Because you know just as well as I do, considering the Western blueprint of the society, of what we live in today, and correct me if I am wrong, Western people in this world, they love the easy way. And they take the easy way out in everything. That's why today, Western societies, the majority of them, they have the stigma all across the world of being lethargic, lazy, apathetic, and complacent, especially men in this society right here. But you think about this for a second, because to live while you yet in service to others is to die. And you cannot be selfish in your attitude. And you cannot have a selfish spirit, and it can't be all about you. Contrast this back to the soldier. The reason why he threw himself on that grenade is because somebody else was more important than he himself. But you look at this American spirit today, with many of you out there, you're more important than the next person. You can tell that these people do not have it in their hearts, nor in their minds. Maybe you don't either. What it means to understand the ultimate sacrifice. Sure, death, termination, separation, you're finished. But to live for others, while you are alive, that means you are dying to yourself. And to me, personally, that is the ultimate sacrifice, simply because you've already thought about this. You've already thought about what it's going to take and what you have to give up. You've already pretty much done meditated and thought that there's a greater cause, greater than you, that there are people in this earth more important than you. And when that decision is made, that is the ultimate sacrifice. I don't mind telling you that in the past, we live differently. We do things differently, a whole lot differently. As a matter of fact, when you watch the ministry here, where our pastor at, you'll see that in order to live the way we live and to do the way we do. It's the ultimate sacrifice, because you cannot be selfish in this endeavor whatsoever at all. As a matter of fact, when you look over to your brothers and sisters, your heart has to be sincerely tender, and it's not all about you. But what if everybody had that attitude, that the next person or the person standing next to them is greater than they are? Do you understand how unselfish that is? And do you understand what it means to actually lay down your life? I mean, think about this. Let's do a quote from the scriptures itself, from the word itself. No greater love than this. No greater love than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. Now, we equate this today to somebody just jumping in front of a bullet, or somebody jumping on a grenade and terminating their life without any thought. But see, I believe personally, after meditating on this, the greater sacrifice is to live while you're dying. Because you're going to experience a very slow and painful death when you live for others. When you made a decision and you really truly meditated in your mind and in your heart, and you've settled it, that the whole purpose and reason for this life is to live in service for others, that's the day you start dying. That's what the age-old conflict is all about today, is because, I mean, let's tell the truth. In America, we rear a very selfish mentality, and it's all about me. And really, truly, the truth is, you cannot trust a person like that. And if you are that way, you can't be trusted, because this is a life of self-sacrifice. This is a life of commitment. This is a life, it's not about you. It's about the greater good of the whole. This is something that really truly needs to be meditated on, because I gave up my life a long, long time ago to be in service of others, be it in the natural man's army military. Well, I'm out of it and been out of that for quite some time now. I live my life as a sacrifice, not following my own dictates and mandates, but I live my life in service to others. What about you? No greater love than this, than a man laid down his life for his friends. And that's the conflict today. Whenever you assume and believe that you are more important than someone else, then you're not laying down your life for your friends. And you're definitely not dying out to yourself. So which one is the greater? To die for others, or to live for them while you're dying? This is a acid test. I think you yourself personally already know. If you're a person that loves the easy way in life, you're not used to commitment or sacrifice. Everything is all about you, your comforts, your well-being. It's impossible. You simply cannot be in a group setting to where you can be depended upon. A soldier knows full well that when he straps his boots up and he gets on a plane and he jumps into some third world country, and knowing that it's going to be hot because they're well briefed, it's going to be hot over there. Excuse me. He knows that he may not come back home. Yet and still, because of a commitment that he made to the country, he's willing, for at least what they tell us today, for the better good and the whole in the defense, national defense of the United States of America, he's willing, because of love of the country, to go and lay down his life. I don't mind telling you that here in America, when I got out of the military and I came home, I couldn't believe some of the things, because I left as a little boy. And I couldn't believe some of the attitudes, some of the perspectives, and the ways of people. I have pretty much, the majority of Americans I've met in my life have been pretty much selfish people. And there's no way you can be a part of any viable ministry that is really, truly true to the Father and be selfish. because this is not an easy way. This is a life of sacrifice. And this is a life of suffering while you're living, yet dying. Search your own heart and search your own soul and see if you have what it takes to really truly make the ultimate sacrifice. Shalom.